Last week, we looked at neutralization, which if you remember was when we took an acid and an alkali and they reacted together to make something neutral. Well, it doesn't just work for alkalis. There are other things called bases that react with acids as well. Alkalis are bases, but bases are not alkalis. There's more of this in the presentation that I gave earlier on in the lesson. We're going to look at two different things today. We're going to look at the reaction of a metal with an acid and see what that makes. And we're going to look at the reaction with a carbonate and an acid and see what that makes. Let's have a look at the way that I've set this up, because these two reactions will create gases. But I want to be able to trap the gas and collect it. But gases escape into the atmosphere. So how have I managed to set that up? So here's the basic equipment that I'm going to use. I've got a conical flask connected with a bung with a delivery tube that goes up and down and up again in it. And also, I have this massive tub of water. So we're going to take our flask and place it so that the delivery tube is submerged underneath the water, as you can see here. Now, I need to be able to collect my gases. So what I'm going to do is take a test tube, fill it with water, turn it upside down, and if you see, the water doesn't fall out. Pressure is keeping it in. That is until I take the lip of the test tube out of the water, and all the water will fall out of it. Let's do that again so this fills up, and I want to make sure that I'm putting this lip of this tube over my delivery tube. So now, if I make any gas in here, it will travel up through here, into the delivery tube, and down through here, and the bubbles will appear in this area here. And I'll be able to test these gases using some testing techniques that I'm going to show you later. You can see that there's loads of bubbles coming out of here now, and this tube should be filling up with lots and lots of hydrogen, which I'll be able to test in just a bit. And it's a very, very exciting reaction. You can see the reactions happening quite vigorously, and that gas is rising up through my flask. Now, I love the test for hydrogen gas because it uses my favorite thing, fire. To do this test, what you need to do is set fire to a wooden splint first. There we go. And I'm going to use this wooden splint to test my hydrogen gas. I'm going to take my hydrogen, taking care not to get rid of any. Here we go. Here's my hydrogen. And I'm going to put this flame into the hydrogen gas. And let's see what happens. That squeaky pop means that this was hydrogen that was inside this test tube. So if you ever need to test for hydrogen, just take a flame, put it inside the test tube, and if it's hydrogen, it will make a squeaky pop. The next experiment, I'm going to do a very, very similar thing, but this time we're going to use sodium carbonate powder instead. Sodium carbonate doesn't make hydrogen like our metals do. Instead, it will make carbon dioxide gas. But I'm going to use exactly the same technique to collect that gas. So let's have a look at what that looks like. You can see that the carbon dioxide is really bubbling away, and that sodium carbonate is making a huge amount of gas. Right, so let's do the test for carbon dioxide. Again, I get to use fire, which, you know, is always a highlight of my life as a chemistry teacher. And we're going to see what this does to the carbon dioxide. So let me just remove this. And you can see that the flame goes out instantaneously. Fire can't live in carbon dioxide, so it extinguishes the flame. But that happens to a lot of gases actually, not just carbon dioxide. So although that's good for what level that we're at, we need a better test to test for carbon dioxide. The best one that I've got is this substance, lime water. Now, lime water is not got any limes in. It comes from calcium hydroxide, which we sometimes call lime. And so lime water is just got some calcium hydroxide dissolved in it. I'm going to pour some of this into my a second tube of carbon dioxide that I've collected, and we'll see what happens to it. It will start off colourless, and hopefully we'll see a colour change. Right, I'm just shaking this here, and you can see that it's kind of gone a bit milky. That milkiness is proof that I've made carbon dioxide. So to test for carbon dioxide, you react your lime water with it, and if carbon dioxide is present, it will go milky.